Hey, so if you really want to level up your thinking, just fundamentally realize that awareness is water. And when I say water, I mean like the experience of water, not necessarily the scientific definition of water, but that too. And so awareness, when I say it's water, awareness is a field, just like water is a field. Water is a field that you can exist in. It's at a particular density, water, that is an object. It's an object as well. And so all field behaves that way. So the electromagnetic field, quantum field, etc. You're looking at the exact same behavior as water. And so the reason atoms have their shape is because there's like a fluidic field around it. At a particular density, that field gets harder and harder and harder. And at a lower density, that field gets softer and softer and softer, just like the difference between water and air. But the surface of like metal, what we call electrons, that's just very dense field held in place via cymatics. It's got standing waves, and it's this is all three-dimensional. So when people are talking about quantum field, what you're looking at is A, awareness, and then that awareness takes the exact same shape and behavior as water. So water is the field that's at the density of human consciousness. And so plants are at that same density, all animals, everything that we call alive is at the density where the field of water is physical and slippery and wet. But there's the same way in water, how you can be like in a big thing. There's tides that go in and out. There's vortexes. There's standing waves. There's stable cymatic resonances and stuff like that. All that's happening in consciousness at different densities, different levels. And they all overlap. And where they overlap at the boundary, it's like the water meets the field of Earth, right? There's a solid field. It's this more solid thing. The beach is where those fields meet, or the cliffs or the shores. And so you get all these different types of interaction possible between fields of different densities. And you can just look at the ocean as an example of a field that you're able to perceive directly because it's of the same density as your eye or your awareness. You can look at that to understand fields firsthand. And so you can see, like, when a field meets, like the ocean meets the earth, you get something like a beach. They interact with each other. Tidal pools, there's all sorts of strange little exchanges between fields. And there's also boundaries. And so water is awareness, and awareness is existence. Everything is behaving like water. It's not to say anything is like special about water as one of these fields. It's all water. But what we call water is a field that's at the same density as our eye, our awareness. Our water is the awareness that takes body as a single entity, as a single field. And participates in all life, and joy is a drop in the ocean, but is a contained body, right? The water is the physicality of that eye. Like, your eye is dependent on a lot of stuff going on in the water, like the electrochemistry, the breath, the prana. Like, obviously that is needs to be happening in the water for awareness to experience like a self or a body. You need that chemistry of the body, and so you can get that electrochemical process. It can happen without a body, but like you could see how it would be unstable. But you could possibly get like a pattern of electrochemical reactions in the ocean where that awareness would have an experience of being a self, but it's not the same as like the recursive metabolic reactions in the body water that create like a very specific individualistic pattern of electricity, like isolated from other electricity in other bodies of water by the skin membrane, right? So when you go, what are my thoughts happening in my awareness? What are my perceptions happening in my awareness? You go, the reason it's like that is because your metabolism, your nerve activity, your sensory activity is all happening in water. Just like the subjective experience that you have of all that stuff, like your perceptions, is happening in water. It's happening in awareness. And so there's also strange things that happen in fields that like seem counterintuitive, but it's not. It's no different like a field. Like you can imagine having sugar. You could put sugar in water, and you could see how sugar could be in water as an object. Or if sugar dissolves, it actually becomes part of the field. It goes away. It just changes the properties of the field. You don't really work with the sugar anymore until you can get it to come out of the water. Once something dissolves in the water, it is the only evidence of it is that the water changes its behavior, right? Like it affects light differently or whatever. There's indications that there could be something dissolved in the water, but that thing goes away and all you have is water, if it's capable of dissolving. And the reason it's capable of dissolving is because its electrons, like its field, its mind, is capable of acting just like water. So you get all these processes of dissolving, burning, etc. It's not like I'm saying anything new exactly. It's everyone's deduced that this is all consciousness. It's just like, if you want to, that water plays a huge role in it. And so if that's integrated into your science and your philosophy and theology, then it's really complete. Without a strong like fluidic water framework, you're missing out on that part of your body. Like if you're doing any philosophy, if you're doing any science, if you're studying the world, the only world that you have to study is mostly water. But it's awareness, so it's like it's not doing very much other than willing everything to happen invisibly, right? But it's like a big hack. If you want your thinking to be more coherent or to make more sense, knowing what water is, and knowing that water is like a perceptible example of a field, so you can actually experience what is abstract concepts to most people firsthand. Anyway.